Good afternoon, everybody. This is just going to be an experiment today to see if I can talk to the microphone and y'all can hear me. I had 4 hours recorded yesterday. I was being quite poignant and passive aggressive, so I had this flash moment of putting myself in another person's shoes and how they would respond to my words, and I decided I was not being loving. So that's in a hard drive. We'll save that for later. Going to do something a little different today as far as talking is concerned for all 2.2 people of you listening to my videos. Been doing a lot of work with Sri Krishna and daily living with the Bhagavad Gita. It's a huge audiobook I bought from Eknath Easwaran, something like that. And it reminds me a lot of all the information I was studying 20 years ago when I was really into Christianity. It wasn't I like to say it like this. It's not Christianity by modern Christian terms. Like, I've brought the stuff I've learned through experiences and prayer and stuff like that to people in the modern church, and they can't deal with it. So I don't know what to call it. It's just the experiences I had. But in this book, again, reminding me of when I was younger, there's a lot of talk about devotion to God, or Sri Krishna, or Jesus, or the Buddha. Whatever words that appear to you to be the most true. For me, it's gone all over the place. It's gone from Jesus to Buddha to shaman, the shaman world, to Lord Shiva and Kali, goddess Kali. And now, listening to this guy, they're all starting to come together. It's like the last 20 years I've been trying to find the right one, the right one to call God. They're all the right one. That's why I say it's not Christian by modern Christian terms. If I were to go to my old Baptist church and say that, they would ask me to come to the altar and ask for forgiveness and stuff, You're not even allowed to doubt in the church. Like, if you say things like, how come we haven't had any seas split open since Moses? They're like, well, blah, blah, God in his own time. That's pretty logical. But there's no sympathy for it. Like, you're held in contempt. I don't like that shit. But, like Paula always tells me, if you see something on the external, that means it's something you're doing to yourself on the internal. So I gotta look at where I'm being hardlined like that, where I hardline myself like that. Because that's shame, right? It's shaming someone based on their beliefs. It's making them different. It's creating another. And that's exactly what we're not. It's like, I had an experience, I guess, recently. And I just decided that I don't know, I guess you could say there were games being played. But that's a little harsh, maybe. I think it's more like subconscious drives are controlling someone's behavior. It's probably better. Because they haven't looked at it yet. But I was telling that to Paula, and it says blaming, right? Like, she did this, she did that, whatever. She's like, she didn't do anything, you did it. And I'm like, no, I don't. And then so I started telling her, like, how I felt like I was judged because I smoke, and that was part of it. And then because I haven't regained financial stability yet from COVID. Like, that was part of it, and that because I have these negative things, it was somehow making me an unlovable person, you know? And Paula was, well, like, how bad do you judge yourself for those two things that you just listed? And a lot is the answer. I judge myself a lot for that. So she was just a reflection of me. And I gotta learn how to love and accept myself. Despite those flaws that I'm overcoming, you know. Which is funny because, well, I keep saying it's funny. I don't like how I talk right there. So there's another judgment. I'm old enough right now where I don't want to date anymore. To me, it's just a game that I'm sick of playing. It's like we're all just going around trying on different pairs of shoes. We find one that looks pretty good, fits pretty good, but oh no, there's another pair of shoes. Let's go try that one on too. Maybe it fits just a little better, like 1% better. Like, that's what modern dating is to me. And it's hard because I spent my 20s and 30s doing that. And now I just don't want anything to do with it. It's a waste of time. But despite all that, I did write a list of things I wanted in a mate. Like a list of things I would like to have the person to have that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, kind of thing. I don't know about marriage. I really don't like the government up in my business. But I made a list. And I met someone that hit all of those, except has to be willing to love me when I'm in my dark moments. Which means smoking or financial loss, anything like that, you know? Because I'm a high-risk personality. There's no escaping that. So that's the one thing they did not meet. And I guess I took that pain and I used it as a tool to ask myself, where am I still treating myself this way, you know? And I mean, it's obvious on the surface everywhere, right? Like I still, if I'm not making more than 90% of the country, I feel like I'm a piece of shit. Right? So I can't just make 70 grand a year and be happy. It's gotta be 180, 220, whatever. And that's, you know, that's kind of harsh considering the economy and the way it is. But that's how I am. So that's the obvious stuff, but the reason is, like, why am I like that? You know, what's the spiritual underpin of that? And I was in meditation yesterday, and I took the pain of that and the pain I experienced with her, and I brought it into meditation. And I started getting really anxious and uptight with myself as I was trying to sit in the quiet with it. And then when that happens, I know I'm running from something. When I start losing peace within myself in meditation, I know I'm running from something. Anxiety is a big indicator of I'm running from something. So I forced myself to go back to that discomfort. Like every time I moved back up into my head to get away from it, I forced myself back down into my heart to where the anxiety is. And then the memory I had when I was 10 came to mind, and it was kind of like a really big memory. It's super traumatic for me. I don't know how it is for other people, but I can just say for me, it's extremely traumatic. And it was just the textbook, you know. My dad got remarried, and then you know, took me out of my grandma's house, and grandma was the only place I felt safe, you know. So I didn't have a say-so in the matter, and it just turned into this huge argument between him and her. So the two people I love the most are yelling and screaming at each other. And I just started like freaking out. Like I started having all these feelings and emotions, and I turned and I ran. I didn't want to be around it, so I ran and hid in the bathroom. As I was sobbing, sitting on the toilet, and just tried to keep pushing all my emotions down. And I remember it extremely vividly. I wanted to hold my breath and push stuff down as hard as I could until I died. That's what I wanted. And I've known that memory's been there for a long time. And I haven't been able to touch base with it until yesterday. And I was finally able to relive it. And do a lot of healing with it, actually. You know, it's like somatic re-experiencing. Like those feelings like that, they get stuck in your body, in your physical cells, and they get stuck. And well, they keep you stunted at that age. So like at the age of 10, I invited God into this conversation too, so if it gets weird for you, you have to talk to him. But at the age of 10, I was anti-smoking, anti-drug. Loving. I was like giggly, gooey loving, you know? Like it was just annoying. If I saw a kid like that today, I'd be annoyed. But that's how I was. Straight A student. I still had a problem with getting along with people, but my grades were exceptional. Shortly before that experience, I did a big school project. It's an anti-drug campaign because, you know, my parents were getting high all the time. And after that experience, like, my grades maintained for a little bit. See, that would have been 3rd grade that happened. So there's just, I don't know, like in 5th grade, I was one of 5 students in the whole state to get all of the math and science questions right on this test that we did. So it's not like I let all my grades go or my brain go. I just stopped applying myself to like homework or trying to make friends. Anytime anyone would get close to me, I'd just do something to blow it up. So after that experience, I guess what I'm trying to say is I started sabotaging more. And like it is becoming obvious in my school life, you know. Teachers were calling my parents like, what the fuck's going on at home? 'Cause my parents weren't cool about anything. They were too busy getting fucked up. But smoking started soon thereafter. You know, stuff like that. I started stealing drugs from my parents and selling them to high schoolers when I was 12. Like that was just like the pivot point of like this huge turnaround in my life. That moment in my grandma's kitchen. And every time I try to get close to it, I've been unable to. finally yesterday I was able to get into it. I was able to, what it looks like for me is like, I'll see it from a distance, like me reliving, like there I am, a 10-year-old, you know, like I can see it from a distance. And I can see the yelling and the screaming, and then I can see myself getting all worked up and like going to leave, but I'm still detached. And so yesterday, I guess I'm lucky. I've finally learned how to engage with that. Instead of staying detached, I forced integration with it. Like I forced myself to re-inhibit that little kid's body and like experience that again. And I cried. I was in meditation. I was sitting like on my meditation pillow, and I cried for about 15 minutes, just sobbing. And easy button. I guess when it's all over, I mean, I don't know how to describe integration, because I would go through and like embody that little kid while he's in the kitchen, and then I'd cry, but then I'd force myself to like rerun the whole route from the kitchen to the bathroom, you know, and then I'd embody that, and then there would be more crying, and then I'd force myself to sit on the toilet where I was trying to hide, and there'd be like more crying, you know, and I'd force myself to be with it and in it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's like being with a little kid when they're upset, I guess. Like, you just gotta let them cry it out kind of thing. But, when I was finally done, I got up and I felt high, which is normal with integration. I'm used to that part. And then what happens, it's like this vacancy inside you is like revealed because you got all this shit out, like all this gunk. Kind of like a bucket of water, you know, like you have a bunch of mud on the bottom, and so, but you need to carry more water, but the bucket's full. So the only way to carry more water is you got to take out more of the mud. And so you do that, and it creates more room for more clean water. I mean, it gets all the water fuzzy for a while, but it's kind of what it's like. But there is this big inflow of energy. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I was walking around with my chest out, like naturally. I didn't have to put effort into it. It was just happening. Like all this power was just coming in, you know? And like even more so, there was this acceptance and beauty and lovingness I had towards people who previously I would have said hurt me, you know, like previously I would have blamed them and become a victim of their behavior somehow. And now there's loving acceptance of them, of like, hey, they have this stuff inside them too that's driving their behavior, like, you know? And we push it down so deep that we forget we have it. And so now, like I've been going through all these other memories of people, because, you know, I have a type that I date. Everyone has a type. But I'm just starting to see, like, they have this stuff in them too. This trauma. It might not be the same as mine, but it's there. It's in their body. It's in their subconscious. It's in their soul. I don't know what words you want to use for it, but it's there, and it's dictating their behavior without them even knowing that it exists. So all their behavior has nothing to do with you as much as it does with they're not free. You know, they're still a prisoner of their own mind. And so how can you get angry at someone like that?